How you feeling about the team so far?
Really excited about practice today. We're going to get 10 innings under our belt, 9 or 10 innings today, and know the guys are really excited about opening day approaching. But we got some work to do between now and then, but looking forward to when we do get cranked up.
Fair to say that Davis and Steven have kind of locked up those number 1 and number 2 spots just based on the way they practice?
Well, we're going to try to map it out what's best for our team. Those guys are definitely going to pitch, and we'll know after this weekend, how to set up the bullpens next week.
What's the competition been like for the infield, especially on the left side?
Nobody really wants to go over there with Josh. I mean, from day one of the fall, we put somebody over there, and they're like, "What am I doing over here?" As far as shortstop goes, there's any number of guys like to go out there and play, and you got Michael and Klein, and Gabe Holt could go over there and play some if he needed to, and Grant Little played a little bit. So those 4 guys have competed, and Michael's settling in over there right now, and if we need to move somebody else over there like Brian, we could.
I feel like Cam's kind of settled himself at first, or is there still a little bit of competition there, and then at second as well?
Well, I think competition really, when you start talking about baseball, you need to respect the game enough that you show up and you prepare. And I think there's an old saying that says something about, you got to work at things to have some success. And, Cam swung the bat really good both weekends. So I expect him to be over there at the same time. We've got some other guys ready if we need them.
What young guys are really hitting stride going into next week?
Oh, I tell you, we like all of them. When you write it on paper, we like all of the young guys. And when you start talking about young guys, you're talking about the whole freshman class, talking about the 2 junior college transfers. And so, and they're all young. Really, all these guys are pretty young, even though Dylan over there is kind of young. So they're all, trying to find rhythm and timing each day. If you said what young guys, like if I had to pick, John McMillan's throwing the ball really well. Erickson Landing's throwing the ball really well. And you guys are probably thinking those guys are older guys, but it's been a lot of fun. Ginger's throwing the ball good. Davis Mark's throwing it good. Josh Young swinging the bat really good. He probably wouldn't agree with that, but he's a hard worker. He's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of passion to play, and if you get the kind of energy out of everybody that you get out of Josh, it'd make coaching really easy.
Coach, you mentioned Dylan. Us old people might remember him as a starter. He came out of the pen last year. What do you envision his role this season?
Probably more than anything, we got a lot of trust in Dylan and giving him the ball in any role. Whether it's an inning in the middle of a game, whether it's 3 innings in the middle of a game, we say, "Hey Dylan, here's the ball on Friday." With Dylan, you kind of know what you're getting. He's gonna pound the strike zone with 3 pitches, and so really it's a nice luxury for us to have him. As far as what role, we'll let that kind of work itself out. We've got quite a few arms down there, and we want to have the ability to shorten games. At the same time, I'd have no problem giving him the ball next Friday and go, "Hey, go 5 innings." That'd be fine.
You mentioned McMillan throwing it well. What have you seen from him this year that's kind of progressing from last season?
I think he's done a really good job of pitching. He's probably scaled it down, 94, 95, throwing the breaking ball for a strike. Change-up's been an above-average pitch on occasion. Doesn't have to be great when you throw that hard. He's commanded the fastball, and he's got a presence about him. He brings a lot of energy to it. He likes playing, probably likes games a little more. As you guys have seen, he's a guy, though, that you don't get as good at playing catch as he does by not playing a lot of catch. And usually those guys that throw hard, once they find that release point and they find the rhythm and timing, they're a lot of fun to watch. And so far, he's been good. It's been a pleasure to watch him.
Last year, he was used only out of the pen as a pitcher. Is there a possibility of him being a starter this year?
I think so. I think we'll sit down after the weekend and we'll figure out the best thing for our team. What we think's the best thing, we don't always know. I mean, we could start him for a month and then go, hey, we need to put him back in the bullpen. You know, the best team I think I've probably ever coached, our best pitcher was a starter the whole year, and in postseason he went to the bullpen, and we won the whole thing. He was out here a couple weeks ago, and so the beauty, I think, of our team and our staff is all those guys are competitors. They all want to win. And, you know, we're going to try to get them all innings. We're going to try to take care of all their arms. And as we go, I think the staff will develop as far as the roles go. And if we have the ability to go 4 or 5 deep as starters and set up the bullpen like a big league bullpen, and you got a closer in the ninth, that'd be a lot of fun. But if it's not that way, that's fine too. We don't play every night. It's not 162 games. So, you know, the first weekend you could possibly see the guy that pitches on Tuesday come out of the pen on Friday, something like that. So, I don't know if I answered the question, Jamie, but we're gonna do the best we can to put it together the right way. But really, our deal, it evolves. I mean, as we go, I don't know if we've ever put it down and it's finished the way we thought.
You guys have been scrimmaging throughout the weeks, but how do you treat this weekend? I mean, do you treat it like it's a series with Maine? I mean, you play 4 games. I mean, how does it set up for this weekend to get you ready for the season?
Really, more than anything right now, I feel really good about where we are right now. And, I mean, we want to go tee it up right now. We'd be fine with that. We'll watch the weather this weekend because we are in a little warmer climate. If we were north, you might be traveling south to practice or traveling west to practice. I know Kansas was in Wichita last night. I know they're in Mustang, Oklahoma today, trying to hunt good weather. We've had pretty good repetitions for a college baseball team getting ready. We haven't had 6 weeks like spring training. So if we got to throw bullpens this weekend when it's cold and, you know, get some repetitions next week when it's warm, we'll do that. We'll do everything we can to be at 100% next week.
How are you feeling about your catcher position, the 3 guys that you have?
Really good. I tell you, it's been a lot of fun watching those guys. I think coming into the spring, you just said, hey, Zane Willems and Braxton Fulton, or Zane and Clay Kelzer coming in, you're like, hey, those guys are going to catch a bunch, and Braxton will be ready. And it's been really fun watching the 3 of them compete. I mean, I think we could pull the names out of the hat and be just fine. I think it'll keep them rested. They're all throwing the ball really well. They're all blocking the ball really well. Receiving good, and so there's always room for improvement, but I don't know that we've ever had 3 guys like we have. We've had 2, but I don't know if we've had 3.
Since you have so many guys like that, can you get away with doing situational things like maybe Davis having a guy that he likes to throw to more? Is that something that you'd be willing to do, or is it just dependent on the bats?
What do you mean, like a knuckleball guy, or you mean like the guy that catches certain guys?
Well, Davis likes a person like Kelzer or Willems or something like that. Not necessarily prefers, but he's more comfortable with. Would you be willing to do that since you have so many options?
We're willing to do whatever we got to do to put ourselves in position, you know, to win games. And so, as far as that goes, we'll look at that when we get there, and we'd like to have a comfort level with all 3 of them, with everybody. At the same time, just last night, I'm putting together today's practice, and we're thinking about hitting in groups. And you're talking about pitchers throwing to different catchers 1 inning to the next, and pretty much decided against it to try to get them in rhythm a little better. And so that gives you a little insight on that. If a guy throws better to a certain guy, that's fine. But then you got to look at the offensive side of it a little bit. I mean, ironically, Kelzer and Braxton have been really good offensively. I mean, like good enough to hit wherever you want to hit them. And so that's pretty nice to, you know, to have. And then obviously Zane throws like a big leaguer, so pretty fun to watch.
Coach, what does Connor Beck bring to the team?
Connor's been around college baseball quite a bit. I think the game's going to slow down for him, maybe even more so than it has in the past. His swing's been really good. He's been been separating balls and strikes. He's a great base runner. I don't hesitate saying that. He's been a guy can apply pressure. He's got a really good arm, can play all 3 outfield spots. If we need to in a pinch, we could stick him at first. And so he's a guy that's highly competitive. You know, he's an older guy. I think, you know, he's seen a little bit more than some of these young guys, so he should be able to help them out, especially get on the road and kind of just, you know, lead some young guys the right way.
Speaking of Connor, what do you think of what you're getting from the right fielders? You got, it seems like 3 or 4 guys you played out there.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, really, you know, you go, McMillan's the guy, your prototypical right fielder, but we're talking about using him as a starting pitcher and taking care of his arm. And we've tried everything we can to not stick him out there, because it really just makes you want to stick him out there because of the arm and because of the power bat. And you start talking about what a right fielder's supposed to look like, that's what it's supposed to look like. Cody Masters, Connor Beck, Casey Semenich, Zach Reams, those guys, it's going to be, I mean, obviously you've been with us and you've seen it. I mean, we'll stick them all in there. We've got a lot of trust in all of them. Believe all of them can swing the bat. I mean, you know, people probably just listening to what I just said would go, Zach Reams, he's played a pretty good right field. I mean, it doesn't need to be playing fast. It doesn't need to be a north wind. But a south wind day, he ought to be able to go out there and handle the routine fly ball. And not going to be Ryan Long. He's not going to make those plays. But he might hit every bit as much. So it'll be neat to see. I think all that deal, again, it'll evolve. And you know, see who, you know, put together good quality at bats and who's going to drive in runs.
For you personally, I guess, what's it like to have Dylan just healthy and be able to kind of make a contribution now for you?
Dylan Dusek?
Yes.
Well, I considered him healthy last year. I mean, I think he was healthy most of the time. And again, you start talking about a guy being around 5 years. I think he's been here since we've been here pretty much. And it's a lot of fun. Dylan, there's a maturity about him. Obviously, you know, his story's a really neat story. There's a lot of his character's off the charts. He's going to show up and work each day. He's not going to run from work. He's going to show up. I mean, he might get hit on occasion, but I tell you what, he's a guy, when he gets hit, you're going, hey, he's about to get a double play ball. Got a lot of confidence in him.
Just what sticks out with me for you?
Probably more than anything, coaching staff, some guys have been in the Cape. Coach Gardner actually coached with one of them. Shortstop's an all-Cape guy, which, I mean, for people that don't know, that's one of the best college baseball leagues in the country. You know, just knowing what their staff brings to the table, good baseball men, I fully expect them to play the game the right way and come in ready to play.
I mean, it's funny to think I was asking that 5 years ago. So, I mean, I'm just trying to lead them, you know, on and off the field, you know, work their bearings in, and, you know, season's in a week. We're all really excited for it, so that's fun. It's funny because I was just talking to the coaches and Brian the other day how when I got here, none of them had kids, you know, or Brian's kid was 2, Talak's kids were in middle school, elementary school, so it's definitely been a while. I've watched them all grown up, and so it's been a fun ride.
I guess how's the first year different from this year?
Well, the first year, you know, we kind of walked in, you know, it was their second year, and we had a good recruiting class come in. It was one of the first one in a while, and, you know, we were just trying to make some improvements and, you know, make it into the postseason, break that streak, and we did, and it ended up going all the way to the World Series, which was an awesome feeling. This year, it's more like, man, look at the talent that's slowly flowed in over the 4 or 5 years that's happened, and now it's just like, wow, you know, to see us pre-ranked in the top 5s, amazing feeling. We know we have work to do, but just to see how much the talent level has, you know, kind of gradually changed, and, you know, how our expectations have considerably grown over all the years.
You feel like this is the most talented team?
It's definitely the most talented team. You know, we have a lot of really good hitters, and I really believe, you know, we have a pitching staff that isn't supposed to really be on a college baseball team with the amount of guys that throw over 90 miles, 93, 94 miles an hour. That's really ridiculous. So we have big expectations. We all know it. We all know we have to work hard, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Speaking of the pitching staff, I guess where do you kind of see yourself, or I guess what do you kind of envision your role as?
Well, kind of like Coach said, he knows my ability. He knows what I got. I have the confidence to, give him whatever he wants. If it's a spot start, if it's cleaning up innings here, if it's coming in to close a game on a Saturday night on a Big 12 weekend, if it's, filling in innings or pitching 3 or 4 innings like he had said. Any situation, I'm ready to grab the ball and come into. I have the flexibility to do that. So.
Kind of inherently, baseball is a sport that kind of teaches you to deal with failure. I guess what have the last 4 or 5 years kind of taught you, just kind of dealing with the injury, coming back, not knowing if you're coming back?
Right. Well, obviously freshman year was a really good year for me, and it came off a high, and I went through the whole next year trying to work my hardest and stay at that high. And unfortunately, like in the middle of the year, things kind of started to go south with injuries, but I didn't know what. Turns out I had to have 2 really major surgeries, and so I had to sit out the 16 year and came back last year, and I felt good at times, and sometimes I didn't feel as good, just depending on what was going on. So it's just the mental roller coaster ride. Like, I feel like that's not a bad thing for me. Just I've always been able to stay positive and recover from it, and I think I've always just felt really good. There's never been a time in my life where I've just been down after what's happened. So
not from a team perspective, but I guess for you, what would you consider a successful season, kind of based off of the last couple of years that you've come in to deal with?
Successful season for me or for the team?
For you.
For me, well, I definitely want to do my best to help the team out in any role possible, and if it's to do this or to do that, but anything that I could come, if it's on a midweek and you win a game, or if it's on a Big 12 weekend and you get a win, or if it's on a Big 12 weekend and you get to save, anything like that. When I come in and positive things happen, that's my goal. I don't like stats or looking into all that. I just want to, at the end of the day, if I've thrown, I want to make sure that we won the game or made the team better in some way.
You basically, on the mound, you look like a senior your freshman year. How have you changed pitching-wise? You understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Coach even mentioned you're very even-keeled the whole time.
Uh-huh.
How have you changed as a pitcher?
Well, yeah, I've always been pretty, I don't really get rattled or anything like that. I'd definitely say, like, my awareness and experience now, I can come up on the mound and, it's a sold-out game. And freshman year, I was kind of freaking out at first, especially during that super regional game, and now I'd probably just be standing up there like, all right, it's go time, let's just do this thing. So, I've kind of just watched it all happen over the years, and I've developed a few more pitches. After surgery, I tend to throw harder when my arm does feel a little better. So, I've definitely, I don't know how I've grown over the years. Definitely gained experience, and my attitude's the same, and I'm just trying to reflect to be a good guy at Texas Tech.
With the surgery, has that kind of changed the arm angle or any different pitches that you throw or anything like that?
No, not really. The only thing, it really hasn't changed much. If anything, I think I've actually gotten a little more positive out of it, just with the way my command and velo it's all gone up. The only thing that might have just ruined it a little bit was my recovery time, as in if I would throw, some days I'll wake up and, hey, let's throw again, or some days I'd wake up and be like, can't do it today. So that's the only thing that's kind of really threw me to the side.
Forgive me, I haven't been here that long, but I guess what was the injury? I guess when did you know it was hurt?
It was, it was the summer of, that was 2015. It was after my sophomore season. We knew I was hurt in the Big 12 tournament throwing, and it was just a bad situation. I had to have Tommy John surgery and thoracic outlet, which I had a rib removed up here and stuff. So some nerve system problems.
Is it kind of a reminder every time you see the scar to yourself? And I guess what does it kind of tell you
every time I see all the scars on my body from over my years? Nothing can stop me. People have told me I shouldn't be throwing right now. I shouldn't be throwing 90 miles an hour right now, and so I just take it for granted. And I'm really just enjoying my last year here in the situation I am in.
What's it been like seeing Davis and kind of Steven kind of go back and forth? It seems like those guys are super competitive. Obviously, Davis was kind of getting some grief last year because he couldn't pitch.
Right. It's funny. It's funny watching Davis and Ging, just not only pitch, but in the locker room, how they joke around with each other. And, this day they'll come out and say, oh, I'm going to do better than you. Or the next day, well, you didn't do that good, so I'm going to do better than you. It's kind of like a sarcastic wear each other out kind of competition deal. It's fun to watch, and it's cool to see how those two guys have definitely grown over the years from their freshman year to now.
How did you kind of help Davis through his injury? Because I know it was kind of a wait-and-see type of deal for him. So I guess what kind of experience or just stuff did you kind of
Well, if you ask Davis, he's one of the hardest workers on this team as well. And, he knows his arm. He knows what's up. And, he definitely takes care of his arm now. Whatever they need to do, whatever the coaches tell him to do, whatever kind of rehab, whatever kind of throwing, he's there doing it. So, I mean, you know, he had a few questions about me, but gladly, and it wasn't near as severe as what I had, so he was good to go. And, you know, I just told him to build on it. You stay confident and just let it go. If bad things happen, it happens for a reason.
What's it going to be like when you finally get on the mound during the regular season for yourself?
I can't wait. Actually, you know, thinking about today, we're only a week away, and it's definitely kind of crept on me this year. In the past, it's kind of just, oh, I can't wait till games, can't wait till games. And this year, we're like stuck practicing, and I like looked up and I'm like, man, 7 days away. Time goes a lot slower now, so I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for this team. All my, you know, just I'm ready to perform and help the team out, and I'm ready to watch everyone do the best they can do.